everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now tomorrow is the 1st of December, so that means that the holiday season is officially started, and I thought it could be nice to start this holiday season with a sustainable gift guide. And that's because I know that gifting is a very huge part of the holiday season, but unfortunately it can be also a very wasteful part. And that's because, in my opinion, we tend to be so focused on gifting a lot of stuff and to gift the newest and shiniest thing instead of really taking the time to understand what is the most appropriate and what will be the most loved gift, with the result that the majority of these gifts end up either cluttering someone's house or in the trash, which is probably even worse. So to avoid that, I divided the video into two different parts. In the first part I will discuss what are the best gifts to make, and in the second part I will discuss where you can and how you can source this gift. However, I will say immediately that I will make some practical example, but I will not make a list of specific physical items that you can gift, because I think that that will tend to buy into the idea that you need to buy certain specific items. Well, I want to really make you focus on what are the type of gifts you can make so that you can find the best gift for the person you want to make the gift, if that makes sense. I hope so. But without further ado, let's get started. My absolute favorite gift to make is surprising the person I love with something that I know they really love, they really desire, but they wouldn't splurge on themselves, and maybe they even think that they would never really have that thing. So that, I think, it's an amazing gift to make, and it can really be anything from an experience. So maybe it can be a ticket to the theater, to a theme park, or a ticket to go to a country they wanted to see, or it can be a physical item. And again, this physical item can be almost everything from a book to a TV, depending on who the person is and what is that they really want. Of course, not always you can know exactly what they desire, also because sometimes there is nothing specific that they desire. So of course you can go for something that you know they would love anyway. For example, my mom collects nativities. She has nativities from all over the world, from every culture, in any possible kind of material. She really loves to see how different people interpret the idea of nativity and family in general. So as long as it is handmade, she really loves any kind of nativity. So every time we find a nativity that is really special, that is handmade, and it has something that is really special, particular, that we never seen before, we always gift it to her, because we know that this is something that she thoroughly enjoys. Favorite option number 2 is to gift something that the person really needs or that is anyway useful. Now I know that this won't have any wow factor, maybe it's not something particularly fancy or particularly nice, but I do really enjoy to gift and receive something that it's actually useful, because first of all, in this way I don't have to pay for it. Secondly, because then it creates an emotional attachment to something that otherwise would have just been useful, so it's something that I really appreciate. And third, because at least in this way you're gifting something that will be used instead of something that will go in the trash, and at the end of the day this is much better. So again, it can depend on the person, but to make a very practical example, my mom really wants a goopy bag, that are those bags. Oh wait, I can show it to you. So this is a Guppy bag, and basically it's a bag in which you put all your synthetic clothes when you put them into the washing machine, so that all the microplastic will be collected inside the bed and it won't go into the water system. As a secondary result, also it helps avoiding clogging into the tubes of the washing machine, so to also preserve the washing machine. Now my mom absolutely loves her washing machine and really wants one of those, but I know that she will never go ahead and buy one herself. So again, not a super fancy gift, but I know it's something that she really wants and she will enjoy and she will be grateful. Option number 3, and this is admittedly mainly for people I don't really know that well, so I'm not really sure of what they love and what they might need. So in this case, I gift food. And it might sound basic, but food is always enjoyable. It is something that you can eat together and enjoy together. It can create like a very nice and convivial moment, and also something that gets consumed, so it's not something that will create clutter. the second part of this video, of course, even when it comes to gifting, the most sustainable way of sourcing is going second hand. And I know that a lot of people won't find it great, especially for gifting, but I personally don't find it anything wrong with it. First of all, you can find things that are basically new, if not even new, so you know there's no real difference with what you find in the shop. Second of all, you can find things that you couldn't be able to find in the shop nowadays. For example, if you find something vintage, and that I think can be a very, very great opportunity to find something that is absolutely unique. And third of all, you can also find things that maybe otherwise you wouldn't be able to afford, but that you really want to gift to the person. So for example, I did gift my boyfriend a Burberry scarf. Now I know that he really, really wants a Burberry scarf. He absolutely loves the brand, he loves the check, he loves their scarf, he loves everything from them actually. So I knew that this was something that he really, really wanted, but he would have never pulled the trigger and spent so much money on a scarf, understandably. And I personally also don't want to spend that much money, but also independently on the money factor, I do not really support Burberry as a brand, so I wouldn't buy it new anyway. And I found this one on Vestiaire Collective. It's in basically brand new condition, even if it is a vintage one, and it will make really an amazing gift. My favorite place to go second hand, a little bit depending on what it is, but I do use a lot Facebook Marketplace, or I do use Vestiaire Collective, and there are some Instagram shops that are fantastic, like Retold Vintage and Small Needs, I think it's called, but I will link all of them down below. There are some like very amazing places out there. But if you don't really want to go on the second-hand route, or maybe you don't feel comfortable in doing that, there are people in my life to whom I would never actually gift a second-hand gift, because I know them enough to know that it won't be appreciated. So in that case, I think that handsmade is the best way to go, is again a way to give something that would be absolutely unique, and at the same time to support a small business or an artist. Now if you are able to make something yourself, then I think that that would be like the most amazing gift. I am absolutely incapacitated of doing anything apart maybe biscuits. But the gift that I received that were made for me by the person who gifted it for me are among my like absolutely most treasured items. So if you're able to do that, that's a very cool way, and often not that expensive. Otherwise, as I said, you can find something handmade. Normally, I do try to go to Christmas markets because A, I really love Christmas markets, and B, because they spend so much time out in the cold that I think that is absolutely fair to support them. Unfortunately, this year there are no Christmas markets, at least not here in Belgium, so that's not really a viable option for me. So I found a very, very good alternative on Etsy. Etsy covers, I think, more or less all over the world, and there are some very, very amazing artists out there. Again, I will link down below the artists from which I purchased a gift for my family. And I found some really amazing paintings and again, scarves, socks, like you can find really anything. I would say though, be very, very careful and always check that it is true that it is handmade, because there you have the option either vintage or handmade, and a lot of time people put handmade where they are actually manufactured in China. So be careful, ethically wise, that is something that is really handmade and not mass produced. But apart from that, it's an amazing platform. And of course, I know that not everything can be found second-hand or handmade, so in that case I would always try to go for small businesses as much as possible locally. I don't really have big issues in ordering online if it is something that you can't find physically in the shop, especially now because a lot of shops are closed. But I do always try to go for small businesses rather than going for being retailers like Amazon or Zalando. And especially when it comes to bookshops, bookshops are slowly but surely dying because of the amount of people that is buying online, and I don't particularly like it. I do love books and I do love bookshops a lot. I think it's an industry that absolutely needs to be supported. So I do buy very little books because I don't buy that many, but the one that I buy, I always try to buy from a bookshop as much as possible. I try to find very nice and good one. So for example, this year I gave this one to to my brother, and this ticks again the box of something that he didn't need, he didn't want, but I know he will love. And I know that this will probably be a very cringy tool for a lot of people because it's the history of the anatomy tables. But I know my brother and I know that he will love it, so I'm really looking forward to give it to him and to see his face. So that's what I mean. You need to make a gift for the person, not to yourself. And to conclude, to be honest, gift whatever you want to whomever you want. At the end of the day, you know the person much better than I do, and that's why I didn't want to make a list of random physical objects, because the idea is try to understand what the person wants. But the only thing that I would say is please always keep in mind the person you're making the gift for, and avoid gifting random stuff just to make a gift, because these are the most likely to go into the trash. So if you want to gift a book, don't gift the last book just because it's the sensation of the moment. Try to think what the person might really want to read, even if it's a book that you wouldn't like, if that makes sense. And thank you so much for watching and following my rambling. I know that it's a little bit strange as a sustainable gift guide, but I hope you find it interesting and maybe useful anyway. If you did, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and maybe subscribing to my channel. It would really mean the world to me. Mine is a very small channel, so any show of support means a lot. And until the next time, bye!